Good morning, children. Here in this video, we will understand what is thermite reaction or how thermite reaction occurs. When aluminium is used in the form of white powder, reacts with any of the metal oxides, and huge amount of heat gets released. Such reactions are known as thermite reaction. So the primary criterion to have or to consider a reaction as a thermite reaction is aluminum should be used in the reaction in form of white powder, and it should be highly exothermic reaction. Such reactions are known as thermite reaction. So now the question is, where do we use thermite reactions, or why do we use thermite reaction? Thermite reactions are used to extract metal, such as the metals which are lower reactive metals than aluminium, and we use such reactions to extract that particular metal from its oxides. Such kind of reactions are known as thermite reaction. For an example, I'm using here iron oxide, Fe2O3, plus aluminium is used in the form of white powder. It is mandatory, children, this is to be kept in mind. Aluminium must be used in such reactions, and that should be in the form of powder. So iron oxide plus aluminium will be reacting in the presence of heat. Heat will be required to initiate the reaction. Now, once the reaction will be started, aluminium will start displacing iron from its oxide. So since we know that aluminium is more reactive, much more reactive than iron, so aluminium will surely displace iron from its oxide, and it will start producing Al2O3, aluminum oxide, plus iron will be produced. Iron will start coming out of this reaction in form of liquid. Now question comes, why it comes out in form of liquid? That I'll surely explain in this video. Plus huge amount of heat will be generated because it is a highly exothermic reaction. Children, when we perform the reaction, we use iron oxide, perhaps in a like ceramic container, and we will use aluminium. Suppose aluminium has been used here in form of powder, and we have to just ignite the reaction so that aluminium starts reacting with iron oxide. So the moment we are going to perform this reaction, heat will be required, because without heat the reaction will never occur. Aluminium will directly, without the presence of heat or without the requirement of heat, aluminium will never react with iron oxide. So the moment you are initiating this reaction, aluminium will start displacing iron. Children, when aluminium starts displacing iron, in that moment, iron do not gets produced in form of liquid. Since the reaction is a highly exothermic reaction, it produces huge amount of heat. So by the heat which iron got produced, that immediately turns into liquid. So I hope you can understand. The melting point of iron is somewhat 1400 degrees Celsius. So when the reaction occurs, it actually goes beyond it. It goes more than 1400 degrees Celsius. Due to that high temperature, iron got produced after the reaction, it immediately turns into liquid. Immediately. So do not think that iron is coming out of this reaction in form of liquid just because you are applying heat. It do not happen because of that. It immediately turns into liquid because of this highly exothermic reaction. It is a highly exothermic reaction. Aluminium starts displacing iron. Iron get produced, and since the reaction is extremely exothermic reaction, and it's kind of like it will giving a bursting sound. I'll show you in this video how the reaction occurs. When aluminium starts reacting, like it gives a kind of an explosive reaction. It's kind of an explosive reaction. Huge amount of heat gets released by the reaction, and due to that heat, the iron got produced. After the reaction, it immediately turns into liquid, and it starts filling those like broken areas which we want to repair, especially this reaction is used to join the broken railway tracks, broken parts of the iron bridges, or any other things where you want to repair, or what you want to repair, made of iron. Because I want to, if I use iron oxide, that of course will extract iron. Same reaction can be done with manganese as well. For an example, if I'm using manganese oxide along with aluminium, so of course heat will be required to initiate this reaction. Aluminium will start displacing manganese, so it will start producing aluminium oxide, Al2O3. Along with manganese will start coming out of it in the form of liquid, plus huge amount of heat will be released after the reaction. So this is also another example of thermite reaction. So children, this question frequently comes in board examination, that which reactions are known as thermite reaction, or rather what are the uses of thermite reaction. So this is to be kept in mind. Thermite reactions are those reactions in which aluminum is used as a reducing agent, and it is used in the form of white powder along with the oxide of a metal from which we want to extract that particular metal. So that metal's oxide will be used. And second condition is huge amount of heat must be released by the reaction. That's why the name of the reaction is thermite. The word therm is referring the the heat which gets released, or since it is exothermic reaction, that's why the word therm has been used, since we know that thermo means heat. So extreme amount of heat will be released after the reaction. That's why such reactions are known as thermite reaction. So I repeat my word once again. The primary requirement to have the reaction as a to call a reaction as a thermite reaction is: number one, aluminum should be used, not in the form of solids, not in the form of rods or any other shapes, because that will take much more time to have a reaction. That's why we are actually using the form of powder, in the form of powder, so that the reaction turns quicker, the reaction occurs faster. So aluminum must be used in the reaction. Aluminum reacts with the oxide of a metal which we want to extract, perhaps manganese oxide or iron oxide, and aluminum oxide will be produced after the reaction, because aluminum is used as a reducing agent, and aluminum is displacing iron or a manganese from their oxides, and itself becomes aluminum oxide in both of the reactions, and the metals comes out of it in the form of liquid, since the reaction is highly exothermic. And since I said it earlier that huge amount of heat gets released, when you will see such reactions, I'll show you in this video. Huge amount of heat gets released, and it gives a bursting sound. It is kind of an explosive reaction, and those who perform such reactions to join the railway tracks or the broken railway or broken bridges, they immediately moves away from that place, because it starts producing sparks. So I hope the reaction is clear to everyone. If still you have got a doubt or a confusion, please feel free to ask. Thank you, children.